As time tells the man, we choose to leave a legacy behind. Remind the fallen of the grace at which we rise. Allow divine to speak through our mouths, say it with our chest, cause no truth was ever easy to obtain. But we move hills they told us to keep still. Hello everyone and welcome to the one-on-one sessions with Gogo Musore, and I'm your host Gogo M, giving you guys tips, lessons and teachings on everything spirituality. Okay guys, so this is part 2 of the 4 clairs, and today we're going to be talking about clairaudience. If you guys remember that last week we were talking about clairvoyance, and if you want knowledge on clairvoyance, go look at that video because there's a lot of beautiful information on these different clairs, and I also note down what blocks them, who is born with them, and all those different kinds of things. Okay, so today we're talking about clairaudience. Clairaudience is also known as clear hearing. Hearing things clearly. So clairaudience is the gift of hearing. You are able to hear spirits, dead loved ones, and entities, as opposed to just seeing them. Because, okay, mostly with people with clairaudience, you don't really see them. You hear them. You hear their presence. You hear them speaking. They're able to speak to you whether you see them or not. But remember that it is possible for one person to have 1, 2, or multiple, if not all of the clairs that I'm speaking about. And clairs, like I said in the last videos, are different psychic abilities that we are all somewhat born with, but some are stronger in some and weaker in others, or some are just weak in all of them while others are really strong in all of them. And at the end of the day, they contribute to different psychic abilities like mediumship, being a prophet, and all those kind of things. Like I said, clairaudience is the gift of hearing spirits, hearing that your dead loved ones, hearing entities. These things are able to verbally communicate with you through your ears or through your mind. Okay, so here are the signs of when you are a clairaudient person. The first one is that you hear ringing in your ears. So this is somewhat very similar to people with Balozi spirits, but the thing about it is that it doesn't really go along with Balozi spirit only the thing called Balozi spirit actually use clairaudience in a sense. This is like the westernized term of it, but it is what it is. So you are able to hear ringing in your ears, and also different sounds, voices, whispers. You can hear the beat of the drums. You can hear people talking. You can literally hear conversations that are being heard in the spiritual realm by different spirits and whatnot, or different entities and whatnot. Number 2, you hear footsteps. So this is something that people actually encounter, especially when they are very young. Young people who are clairaudient will find themselves hearing footsteps in the house, especially when they are all alone, and some actually even grow up to hear these things regardless, okay, because their gift chose to manifest and become stronger, as opposed to die out over time in different programmings and environments and whatnot. So you are able to hear footsteps when you are all alone. You are hearing your name being called from a very young age. This is whereby you could be just sitting and you could be alone, but from a distance you can hear people calling your name. But bear in mind, it differs, because there are some people that practice dark magic that can actually call your name at night, and the reason for them to do that is to actually come, collect your space so they can use it. But that's a whole different thing. I'm not talking about that today. I'm clearly talking about clairaudience. So with clairaudience, this can happen during the day, this can happen at night, in the afternoon. It doesn't really have a specific time, but it does happen to you a lot as a clairaudient person, especially when you're young. But like I said, some people actually grow up and still experience this thing happening over and over again in their lives. Okay, number 4, you hear and read frequencies and vibrations. Okay, so frequency and vibration is something that is different. It's a whole type of thing. So frequency is sound frequencies that can actually resonate with different people. So every person has their own different frequency and their own different vibration, whereas the vibration is sort of like the energy vibration that a person has. Some people have a good vibration, some people have a bad vibration, whereas the same thing happens with frequency. You can have a good frequency and a bad frequency. So with clairaudient people is that they can hear the vibrations and the frequency that you project as a person, and pretty much tell you the kind of person you are, or rather tell the kind of person you are by the frequency and vibration that you have. And they are able to distinguish between a very high or a very low vibration. Okay, so the very high and the very low vibration depends on a person. Okay, if you are in tune with your inner self and in tune with your spirits, you will have a higher vibration. But if it's the opposite, then you will have a lower vibration. And these people are able to tell the type of vibration that you have as a person by just hearing it. Ne? And at the same time, they can tell the vibration that an environment has, because different environments have different vibrations and different frequencies. Okay, a low vibration can come from a lot of different things, maybe negative energy, being disconnected with the spiritual realm. You know, there are so many things that happen in different places. Some places are haunted and all that. So these things will affect the vibration of a particular place, and people with clairaudience can actually tell the kind of vibration that is there in a particular environment. Okay, I'm no longer gonna mention the numbers because I'm losing count of my things already. These people love listening to music. Okay, so clairaudient people are people that in a way are drawn to noises and sounds. Not really noises, but different types of sounds, and music being one of those things, because once they allow themselves to listen to these things, that is how stronger their spiritual gift tends to be. So these people are somewhat drawn to a lot of sound. They're drawn to music. They love music. They connect with music, and through the music they listen to, they can even connect with certain emotions that are in that music and become very emotional because of it, you know. And another thing that they do, they constantly need to hear something in order to fully understand it. So if you are a person, or if you are a child, or you have a child who is a clairaudient, well, the thing about them is that they are not going to learn the same way that other people do. Because some people just read something and they understand it. But with clairaudient people, they need to hear it in order to comprehend and fully understand it. They need verbal information. They need to get information verbally in order to grasp it the way that they are supposed to. They are auditorial learners, and they read out loud. So these are children that actually have to read everything out loud in order to actually understand it. Because some of them, what they do is that they'll actually record themselves studying, and then listen to that very same voice note in order to fully understand. And if they don't do that, they will not be able to memorize, or rather understand, whatever it is that they are learning. So they are auditorial learners in a sense. Okay, or auditorial people in general. Okay, they have conversations with themselves a lot. So these are people that just talk to themselves 24/7. And I'm not talking about people with mental problems and whatnot. These are just normal people, your everyday people, who actually resolve complications, resolve conflict with themselves by actually having conversations on their own. I'm not talking about your crazy girlfriend who create scenarios in her head about you guys' fight and all that. We all know all women do that. But I'm talking about very deep spiritual conversations that people have with themselves in order to learn and understand different types of things. When a person finds themselves talking to themselves a lot, chances of them being clairaudience is very high. And the thing about the conversations that they have is that they're not in first person. They're in second or third person. Whereas it's like this person is communicating with multiple people at the same time. And even the answers, they come to their head. For example, I could be there thinking what exactly must I do in this kind of situation? And the answer will come to my head, or it will be whispered to me, whereas the spirits and the spiritual guides and the loved ones will be communicating with me in that particular moment using the clairaudient gift. Okay, another thing, they constantly need silence. Okay, here's the thing. We as spiritually gifted people are very much loners in a sense. Because, Lena, personally speaking, I won't say that I'm a clairaudient person, even though, yes, over time you can master it, regardless of the fact that you are born with it or not, and regardless of the fact that it's your major trait or whatnot. But the thing about us spiritual people is that we love being alone. We love our alone time because it connects us with ourselves and our ancestors and our spiritual selves and our inner children and all that. So with these people, they constantly need silence and they need to be alone. They need time to be alone, because what happens is that being around people affects them. Like, you can be with people for like a few minutes and you're done. Oh, and it gets to a point whereby some people actually not even want to interact with people a lot. I'm one of those people. I love interacting, but most of the times I really don't want to, because spiritually I require a lot of time by myself, for myself, and whatnot. And that is exactly what happens with clairaudient people. In most cases, they require a lot of alone time in order to master their gifts more than anything. Okay. Now, another one is that spiritual messages are clear and easy to understand to them, because with them, like, it's different, because with people, like, you find yourself like having dreams and visions and whatnot, dreams that come as riddles most of the times, and that is one of the things that I feel like gets very confusing and makes it very hard to interpret and fully understand certain divine information, spiritual information and whatnot. But with clairaudient people, it's so easy, because you just get whispered those things, or those things, they just come to your head constantly, and it's like one of the coolest things, because you don't actually have to spend so much time stressing on a dream or a vision that you can't really comprehend, and needing to go out and consult and seek for dream translations and whatnot in order to fully understand exactly what this thing that you saw actually means, in a sense, But this is where it can get a bit confusing, because if that's the case, a lot of people will not be able to identify whether they are clairaudient or just using their imagination or just hearing things in general. So the thing about clairaudience is that the messages you get, they can come both externally and internally. Externally is whereby you hear whispers, you are spoken to. But internally is whereby your subconscious mind speaks to you, whereas the subconscious mind is your inner self, your inner child. And this inner child, being connected with different spirits around you, can actually relay certain messages and certain information to you. Okay, so it can come both internally and externally. And with this, I wrote that a constant thought that has no root or stem comes to you. Like, when you have like a constant thought, and it has no root, like, you don't even know why you're thinking of that. Like, you could be out here doing the dishes, doing your own thing, and in your head you're like, I need to light a candle, a white candle, or I need to go like get this or get that, that thing. And even if you try to avoid it, it constantly keeps coming to you over and over again. That is your inner child speaking to you. That is your clairaudient gift coming into play. That is your subconscious mind, your inner child communicating with you. And even that is also other spirits coming to you, guiding you, telling you what exactly you need to do and how you need to do it. Okay. And the messages, they come in second person. Like I said that before, you don't speak about I, self, whatnot. It is usually us, we, our, in a sense. It's not first person, because when you are communicating clairaudiently, you are communicating with spirits around you and not yourself. Okay, guys, so this is it for today's session. I hope you guys fully understand this. And next week we will be talking about the other Claire. I don't know which one it is yet. I forgot what it's called. But we will be talking about the other Claire. I hope you guys will love that video. Stay tuned.
As time tells the man, we choose to leave a legacy behind. Remind the fallen of the grace at which we rise. Allow divine to speak through our mouths, say it with our chest, cause no truth was ever easy to obtain. But we move hills they told us to keep still. We are never confined by the rules of man.